Hello, everyone, and welcome to Super Don't Give a Fuck Games Cast. Hooray! I'm your co-host, marginally inebriated, and I am here with most of my crew, who are all absent in varying forms.
I'm
Jeff,
here.
Jeff and Justin are here.
She was just here.
Jeff
No,
and
she's in the
Justin are here.
background. I see her leaving.
Britt is setting up. Finn is taking care of a little business, but he's on the call and ready. CJ is here, but his camera is not working, and John is running late. John had his son's 8th grade graduation to be at, so and it was 2 hours away from home, so he said he'd be a little late coming on the podcast. But
They do graduation for 8th grade now?
Fucking apparently they didn't do that shit when I was
Is
there.
that like
They did for me.
They do
What
certain
the
schools.
fuck?
I think it's like a regional thing.
But guys,
Well-
when I graduated 8th grade last year, like they did it for me.
Shut the fuck up,
Glad you made the
Hey.
joke.
Shut the fuck
Hey,
up.
besides,
No,
let's
you guys walked into that one. Fuck
Yeah,
you guys, all right?
besides, let's be real. We know they don't care about students in Kentucky, so
I would argue that America does not care for children in general.
that's sadly quite true, unfortunately. But folks, this is gonna be a good night. We got the whole crew will be here within a few minutes, hopefully.
Maybe.
Maybe it depends. Will John get in a car wreck? Will Finn land the paraglider he's currently
Right.
podcasting from? Like,
Fuck,
who
that's
knows?
dark.
Yeah, but I mean, you never know with John, whatever he's getting into. But this is a good night. This is gonna be a good set of topics. Again, forgive me. I have to take the lead, and I needed to deal with my anxiety in some slightly forceful ways before I got on. But we had the Summer
Derek,
Games
don't
Fest.
pretend that weed is forceful in any way.
Well, I tell you what, it hits the brakes on a lot of things, doesn't it?
No, I
But-
meant you taking it.
Well, that's true. But Summer Games Fest was an interesting presentation today. 2 hours of many games we admittedly have already seen, but some cool stuff, some cool new announcements, some new cool first looks. We also had the Devolver Digital Showcase, which I personally did not see, but some of y'all did, so maybe y'all can speak to some of those announcements. Those of you who have seen it, I know Justin has. And then, depending on time, we're going to talk about Diablo Immortal and the particularly gross monetization of that game, because there's a lot to talk about. I think it's important. And we tend to not talk a lot about mobile gaming on here, mostly because I think we're all on the same page of like mobile gaming can be good, should be good, is mired in some of the grossest monetization practices and most predatory practices in the industry. But Diablo Immortal's worse somehow. But yeah, I was really hoping John would be here by now to take the wheel away from me, but it's pretty clear that I'm driving this car tonight. So, chew fucking
Hell yeah.
chew, because not only have I imbibed in the legal substances, but I have passion fruit, a bottle of passion fruit Jarritos going into some rum, because let's just take the brakes off this train right now. So let's start with Summer Games Fest. I don't know, does anybody here, can somebody here pull up like Nibble's thread or something so we can keep those in chronological order? Because I'm gonna jump around like.
Well, it started with Street Fighter. So
It
let's
started
start
with
with Street Fighter.
Look,
you
I
talk
know.
about Street Fighter. Let's start with
Trust me,
Street Fighter.
I know where it started because it started with Street Fighter, and it started with Guile with a beard for some reason. Look, Street
And a
Fighter
comb.
6. We
Did
already.
it look good though?
Yes, it does.
All
I
right,
think
well,
Street
that's all
Fighter
that
6
matters.
looks.
I'm in.
I think Street Fighter 6 looks excellent. Are we talking about Street Fighter or Guile?
Yes.
Both.
Hi, Finn. But unfortunately, Guile does look like, as someone on Twitter put it, like, where was Guile on January 6th? He's kind of looking a little, a little not. They were like, America's hero. Don't know, man. But Street Fighter 6 looks great. I don't need to spend a lot of time. Me and Cam got to nerd out a lot. Cam Hawkins was on last week, and we got to nerd out plenty over that real big Street Fighter 6 reveal in the State of Play. So y'all know I'm a Capcom shill, right? And everybody knows Street Fighter 6 looks good. So there's not a whole lot of point spending too much time on that. I think the next thing, correct me if I'm wrong, was Callisto
Alien.
Protocol. Oh, was
No,
it Alien?
Alien.
It was the
It was
Aliens top-down shooter.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
we
is that
actually
what it
saw,
is? A
like,
top-down
three-
shooter? I missed that.
They had like a whole CG thing, and then there was like 3 seconds of like top down.
I missed the 3 seconds. I had to
Yeah,
watch
no,
this at work.
It
so.
was one of those ones that's kind of hilarious because it was like this full like really cool story trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Are we gonna get like a full single player Alien like story focused Aliens game? And then it was just it's like, oh, it's a top down co-op shooter.
There could
Which,
still
I mean,
be a
still
story
fun.
mode to it. Like, I like the
Which is
Alien Crush
weird.
games.
Like if it's like XCOM style, that's a great fit for Aliens. We've done, we had Fireteam Elite, which is kind of like the horde-based third-person shooter.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
XCOM style. I think it's more like, again, like something like
Yeah.
Alien Crusher. It's like a
okay,
it's an actual
So not like-
top down like
but not
isometric.
strategy, tactical.
Yeah, like an
Okay.
action shooter kind of deal.
Housemark style, like
Oh,
older
okay.
Housemark style.
Makes
shooter.
sense.
I can be about that. See, I
Yeah, that
missed
could be fun.
I missed the gameplay bit in the end there. So I think it looks great. What was the name and the developer again?
The developer is somebody I had never heard of before.
Yeah,
I got their
Delos
name.
Interactive.
what was that?
Okay, Tindalos Interactive.
And yeah, Tindalos, Tindal,
I don't know.
French studio. All right, I'm gonna Google them while you guys move on.
But look, Alien rules. More Alien games can only be good unless they're bad, in which case we don't acknowledge them. There's room for a top-down Alien shooter. Like, I can be into that. John
think
was
we're at the
shitting on
point
that
now-
in the DMs.
We're at the point now where like
Oh,
we
and
kinda-
speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil, and he fucking
came in
appears.
we said his name too many times.
Wait,
Hi,
hold on.
bud.
He's fucking BeetleJuice now.
What? Okay, all right. What happened? What did I miss?
So we started, we introed, I talked a little bit about Street Fighter, moved on quickly. We're talking about the
Should've told
Alien
them we're
game.
not live yet.
Yeah. We're not live. And
I know we're live.
he watched us on Twitch. And we were talking about the Alien game, and I mentioned that you kind of shit on it a little bit in the DMs.
I wouldn't
But it's
say I shit on it.
a little bit, but it's a top down, it's like a top down, like isometric shooter. I'm super into that.
Okay, well, I wouldn't.
Callisto is next. but-
I absolutely would not say that I shit on it. All I said was I need to see more. Like
Yeah.
I
do need to see more, but I'm
fair.
hopeful.
we didn't
just
see
need to
much.
see more of it. Apologies for being late. My son graduated the 8th grade today, and it was a long ass drive to go and be there. It was a long drive back, and I had to stop and rescue a cow. So
That's right. You did have to stop and rescue a cow, as you chronicled on Twitter.
his
but did
name
not-
was, by the way, I want to point out this big muscular boy. His name was Biff, and I had to find the farmer, and we untangled him from the fence. I couldn't just leave him there.
Did you find the farmer in the dell?
Finn.
Finn, like it sounded so like speaking sounded so labored.
Even
trying to
you
get that
sounded
joke out.
defeated.
You sounded fucking guilty saying that. Like you were like you knew you were doing something wrong.
Yeah, and yet he still did it.
uh,
All right, where we at?
Alien. Who has takes about the Alien game?
It's fine. I think we're at the point now where these kind of properties can only get the sort of, quote unquote budget title, because like Fireteam Elite is a budget title, but it's
Yeah.
still fun. It's like it's in that World War Z camp where it's fun, but like don't go in expecting anything.
It's like the 17 Warhammer games that come out every single
Yes.
year. Like,
Yeah. I
Of
will
which there
say,
was some
though,
in this show.
yeah, there was a Warhammer game in the show. So
my only concern is Isolation had to have done I'm sure it did well enough to warrant or like justify a big single player like either FPS or third person shooter set in this universe, right?
I think it did, and I think the problem is, correct me if I'm wrong, that's Creative Assembly that did Isolation,
Yes,
right?
That was them and Sega.
And they're kind of busy doing all these Total War games that
Yeah.
make so much money for Sega.
Mhm.
So
It's just one of those things where I think it was successful, but not successful enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, look at the landscape today. Like, yes, Sony first, single player games do well, but, everyone I think still wants a piece of that service
want-
multiplayer.
At
No,
least
I
a VR port of Isolation. Even if it's not a new game, I want to play that game in VR so bad.
yeah. Oh, that
Jeff,
would
to
fuck me
counter-
right up.
To counter your point, I'm sorry, like
No,
what you said, yeah, I get it. Yeah, the single player landscape is kind of different, but like I would think something like Jedi Fallen Order has proven, like, yeah, if you take a license that like everyone and their mother loves and just like do the Spider-Man thing or do like the most basic ass like template of like a third person action game, it could succeed anyway. If everyone's just like, oh, it's this license, like
that's the truth, but you have to convince sometimes out of touch leadership that greenlight these that. Yes, it can do good because
it's funny because I think historically what we've seen happen frequently enough at this point is like a game can, licensed or not, a game can release and do okay, right? Not very good, not awfully, but like okay. And word of mouth can be super strong on that game. And then the second game can do extremely well based on the positive reception of the first game, right? In fact, you see a lot of these delayed effects where like a bad game will sell a shitload because the last game was good, but then that will cascade into the next game doing very poorly. We call that the Resident Evil effect. But
can I just take a moment to say how much I miss Jeff and Finn and how nice it is to see them here?
I just said that in chat. I was like, oh, I miss Jeff.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it like live.
And CJ.
And CJ is, he's here.
wow.
what does that mean, man?
CJ, you never supported me when I said I could beat up a gorilla. So
yeah, you're right,
because
man.
you fucking can't.
No, hold up.
We're not doing the gorilla talk
just
again.
like
Holy
now.
shit, we're not doing that again.
Man, I hope a gorilla fights you, and I hope you lose, and I hope you come to me and tell me, you know what, CJ, I was too hard on you.
Wow.
You won't be able to fucking talk if he goes up against a gorilla.
You'll just die.
I won't be able to talk because I'll have given my voice out the day before
Hey,
cheering my victory.
John, have you seen gorillas? Have you seen gorillas, bud?
You gotta stop the gorilla.
They're pretty fucking big, dude.
Tell him, like, hey, let me
I mean, I'm pretty big. To be fair, Derek.
You're not gorilla big.
Hey, I'm pretty big.
Yeah, but have you seen a gorilla though?
Yeah, have you seen a gorilla?
But I have one thing a gorilla doesn't, and that is a tactical mindset.
I was gonna say like a stubbornness to stay on this fucking point.
You're gonna try to defeat the gorilla in its own form of warfare.
Gorilla.
Okay, so the next trailer was Callisto.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's please move on. Good job, Britt.
So Callisto, I said this last time when I talked about it. I said this was from the PlayStation.
This is almost the same trailer, right? That was at State of Play.
So they released a gorier version of the
different.
trailer,
Yeah,
and then a gameplay trailer, a gameplay demo,
and it looks fucking phenomenal. Like it looks so fucking good. I said this on the PlayStation show. I was like, "This is my most anticipated game." That got announced at the PlayStation. What is that called? The PlayStation
State of Play.
Thank you.
State of Play.
Yeah. We got Summers Fest, State of Play, fucking all this shit now. But it looks so fucking good, and
it looks really good.
I love the gore. Like I love that your surroundings are also interactive and dangerous, and you can use it to like kill enemies and hurt yourself. It reminded me, the gameplay of like lifting enemies up and yeeting them reminded me a lot of Control. Did you get that vibe, Justin?
Kinda. Yeah. I can see that.
I think it
Dead
looks
Space
like
1 had a little of that, but so little.
I mean, I got the Dead Space vibes.
It's Dead Space. Like
it's Dead Space, and I'm happy.
He's even got like the light up rig on the back. Like
I don't care though. That's the thing. I love Dead Space.
We're getting a Dead Space spiritual successor.
And then a month later, we're getting Dead Space.
We're getting the Dead Space remake, and then not long after that, we're getting Resident Evil 4 remake. So, like, it's a good time to be a horror nerd.
Yeah, I meant specifically like that, just that one scene. But I've never played Dead Space, so
that's right. We talked about this
coming up with the remake. So.
I mean, it's also.
I don't know if I can, honestly, because I have game scare anxiety.
I mean, it's a scary fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a scary. It is scarier than
scariest of the three. Like, from what I understand, because I never. Played
I thought Dead Space 2 was a little scarier simply because of the fucking church.
The stalkers in 2 are worse than anything else in the franchise.
Yes.
But Yo, like famously, the tentacle grab jump scare in Dead Space 1 where you go through the door and suddenly you're in a life or death QTE out of nowhere. That shit
So, but
will
Jared,
never
for me,
leave me alone.
Like you said though, it's the tension the stalkers
yeah.
give you. Like they will actually give you fucking anxiety. Like it's a fucked up game. Dead Space 3 is fine. But Dead Space 1 and 2 are fucking horror mainstays. They're classics.
I liked the story in 3. I just wish it was tied to a better game.
I like the story and the John Carpenter vibes. Obviously, you know, Tau Volantis. But more like you don't get there until much later in the game than I thought you would.
The best thing that the Dead Space remake can do is pull like an FF7 remake or an Evangelion rebuild, like that whole bullshit, and actually be a stealth like reboot that takes things in a different direction.
Is it the same guy coming back to play Isaac Clarke?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes,
Cool.
and he's
But
actually
you could
gonna
just kill him
speak.
at the end.
He's
You
going
could
to
just
speak
kill
in
him
Dead
at the
Space
end.
1. Yeah.
Anyway, Callisto Protocol looks really good. It's a lot of the same stuff we saw at the State of Play. It's mostly the same trailer, but there was like some more gory money shots and that little gameplay
And
segment.
the gameplay.
Yeah, the
There was
gameplay
the big
segment.
head bite. The big head bite. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I cringed a little bit. That's when I was like,
Yeah.
this looks really fun, but I don't know if I can play this.
I
would literally lose my shit.
I love that kind of shit. Like, there's something broken in me. I love those gross out kills.
I mean,
I was like,
and also when it's like, I mean, that's a thing carried over from Resident Evil 4, right? Like, just when your character can die in just these
the first time you got
horrendous
your head
ways.
chainsawed off in
Dr.
RE4.
Salvador. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Salazar. Dr. Salazar. Yeah.
No, Salvador is the chainsaw guy.
Salvador.
Oh, is it Salvador?
Fun,
Okay.
yeah, little fun. A tidbit about me. I had a picture of Leon in Resident Evil 4 when he was getting chainsawed in the chest by the chainsaw guy, hung up on my wall throughout high school.
I mean, look, I respect your choices of Twink, but the content is interesting.
Listen, so back then, and I'm gonna sound a
Fucking
little
raw.
old, back then you could not find video game and anime stuff really easy.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the one Resident Evil 4 poster that I ever saw somewhere. And it just so happened to be that unfortunate scene. But I still bought it anyway because it was fucking Resident Evil 4 and it was Leon.
So raw though.
Yeah.
Britt, did you really say on a podcast with me not to sound old?
Yeah. I did.
Okay. I was
But
just
considering you're the
asking.
one with a son going to high school next year, maybe that's a little.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, my stepdaughter's in
I'm
college.
I'm hoping to have a kid soon. Maybe.
Really?
And then, in the next year or two would be a good time to
Okay,
start.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
are you actively like?
No.
Don't just throw that out there.
No.
Oh, by the way,
I mean, it could
spoiler.
happen. Who knows? I'm not,
We have Call of Duty next. Do we want to talk about that?
Jesus Christ.
All right. Quick thing.
Okay, so after
CJ's going first.
No,
Okay.
let CJ go.
Okay. Full disclosure. Straight up, day one, I will be there. 100%. Modern Warfare 2019 was like the absolute peak of me playing one game for like months on months. I spent like 100 hours in that game, like during like the half of like 2020. Right before Cold War came out, it was, and as soon as Cold War dropped, I played for a few hours and I realized, holy shit, I missed like last year's game so badly. I am really excited for this game. It's like the only thing I'll probably play during like the back half of the year. Unfortunately, Activision likes to do this thing where I can't praise anything without them fucking it over, fucking it up somehow.
I like my favorite part of this whole thing, CJ. Like I find Call of Duty presentations like clinically boring, like medically boring.
100%. Because look,
And
I'm probably
like-
going to enjoy the campaign. Like,
Oh, man.
but here's the thing. I love how they introduce. I love how it's like we're bringing back all your old favorites.
Yeah,
Soap,
man.
Ghost, Toast, Butter,
Screwball.
Hammer, meatloaf, meatball, spaghetti.
I
It's all
agree.
here, and it's like okay.
Listen,
like,
that sounds like a good
Guys,
time. I
guys,
don't know what you're complaining about.
I think CJ actually has something like
No.
Yeah.
important.
I agree with all your points because like everything about the single player, everything about its presentation bores the absolute piss out of me. I don't care about Call of Duty in such an intimate way. The only thing I care about is I will be playing this forever, like in multiplayer, right? That's it. That's
Or
my main focus.
CJ, you could enlist and get the same experience. Join
You're
the
right.
army now.
I watched Top Gun Maverick. I already did. They had the
Would you say that Call of Duty general manager Johanna Ferris has girl boss energy?
100%.
Oh, absolutely. That's like the only vibe I got.
I was
from
so
it.
Would you
happy.
say
I was so
would you say
happy.
Margaret Thatcher has girl boss energy? Like,
What was it? Would you say that's girl power?
What I love, CJ, is them trying to convince it, like, look at our innovative cargo level, and it's like, yeah, I've never seen that done before. It's incredible.
No, all like that's the thing. All the
cool.
stuff outside of like the multiplayer, I don't care about. I'm not playing this campaign. I learned my lesson with Cold War, but the thing with Cold War, got me thinking is like, what is it? 2 years ago, I was playing a Call of Duty game that forced me to like kill Latino people in the name
that's
of
Black
like,
Ops Cold War, right?
That was
Cold War,
Cold
yes.
War, yeah.
Yeah.
We're back. It's like I just woke up from a coma 2 years ago, and we're back to the same fucking cycle. Time is a flat circle. It's a game set in Mexico, and you're playing as narcos. I think that's what it was, because I didn't watch the fucking thing.
I think so. Some of the early leaks made it sound like the whole thing was gonna be like a cartel thing. From the trailers that I've gotten, it seems like that might be a smaller part of the game. It's still a part of the game, but I think it's going to be like a single mission, and it's more globe-trotting.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I like, anyway. Again, whatever. However big. We're at this point now where it seems like, in a way, I kind of respect it, that like Call of Duty is so hell bent on pandering to right wingers and things like that. And I mean, you gotta respect, you gotta appreciate the fucking balls on a major.
To me, it almost seems just like you can just tell what movies that they were watching while making these games. Like the first, like Modern Warfare 2019, it's like, oh, they watched a lot of Zero Dark 30 while making this
also
game.
fucking terrible. That's the thing. But that game also had this lens of like, no. There's a sort of nobility and everything. War is complicated, and this is what we have to do, because there are missions where you have to, quote unquote, like decide whether or not you want to pull the trigger, and it's all inconsequential. But this game, and then Cold War kind of dumped all that and was like, fuck it, we're just gonna blow shit up.
You expect Treyarch to even try?
Exactly.
This isn't Spec Ops: The Line or anything.
That's my thing.
Sorry,
the Mexico part is what bothers me. Specifically, because I expected more from Infinity Ward, right? I expected a little bit more, because they have that sort of white liberal ignorance where it's not as bad, but it's still that's sort of my thing, and that's what worries me. Again, I'm not touching this campaign. I'm not reviewing this game.
And the thing
not touching.
Go ahead.
My
Justin, go ahead.
The thing that kind of bums me. So I liked the 2019 campaign. I mean, it has problems, but it seemed like it was like, I mean, and this is, I think not all of this was actually intentional. I think this is just me kind of projecting, my own thing on it. But like, there were some levels in that almost felt like a horror game just set during war. But this does not seem to have. This seems to have dropped all of that. Like, it does not seem to have that tone at all.
You know what I think it is? It's going to mirror the original Modern Warfare 2, in that they're going to forego any sort of subtlety. They're going to forego any sense of like drama. They're going to forego any sort of sense of I wouldn't say decency, but it's going to forego that in an effort to pander, in an effort to create this sort of bombastic thing. Again, I'm just kind of tired, because we're at this point now where we're in the real world, things are getting worse and worse, and we have like this big budget, mass marketed thing that's just going to make it harder for anyone to like take anyone else seriously. John, I apologize. You're going to make a point.
No, I just wanted to say, like, it's not really a point, more than like, now I've got this mental picture in my head of like CJ playing Call of Duty Cold War and then like falling into a deep coma and then waking up 2 years later, and he like all of a sudden he like reaches out and grabs the orderly's arm, and they're all startled, and he goes, have we moved on from Cold War? And they're like, see, I've got bad news. Yet? CJ grabs the wrist. Did Star Citizen come out? Did I miss it?
So anyway, that's my thing on Call of Duty. I mean, like I said, I'm not immune to propaganda. I'll still pick this up. I didn't pick up Vanguard. I'll fucking pick up Modern Warfare 2.
It's Call of Duty.
And then they say no, and CJ just slips back into his coma. He's like, I'll be back.
Are we still yelling about Elon Musk? Yes. Look,
So that's just like I don't know. I'm just tired.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, today.
I know for me, like I mean, I started playing Call of Duty with literally the first game, not 4, like a lot of people say, like the original Modern Warfare. I started with Call of Duty 1. I've played pretty much all of them.
OG.
since
Call of
then,
Duty fans can't
except
count
for-
before 4 in the same
Yeah.
way that Valve can't count past 2.
But like, I mean, I sat out Vanguard and stuff, but it's like obviously all the Activision Blizzard stuff, and then just being more critical of certain things, in the media I consume. It's just frustrating because like FPSs are a genre that I love, and Call of Duty is honestly one of the only series that is still holding like a lot of the core of what I like in FPSs together. A lot of games are just competitive multiplayer only these days. Like Call of Duty is the one that feels still like a complete package, and it sucks that like in order to enjoy and support a genre that I want to see staying alive and to actually like really enjoy in the way that I like to enjoy, I have to get like I have like all this like competing like, well, do you want to support this? Do you not? Like in the top of my head, and it just sucks. Like
I kind of felt the same thing, and not to like talk about like Activision Blizzard and whether or not
We'll
should
have many
support that.
opportunities to do that. Please continue.
Yeah.
It sucks when you have these comfort games, and
100%. Yes.
and you are. It's almost not even worth playing because you have so much guilt. Like
Because Overwatch is like that for both of us, right?
Overwatch and my friend who just recently passed, he is the one that introduced me to WoW. And after he passed, I just really wanted to play and just kind of go through the areas that we explored together and that kind of stuff. And it's just like, it sucks having to choose between moral obligations, because I admittedly shit on Blizzard, said I was never going to go back and all that stuff, to suddenly needing this franchise because it was going to make me feel better, and just like having that internal battle sucks. And I hate that corporations like that are essentially causing that kind of internal debate inside of us. So it's like it just sucks. Like I completely understand where you're coming from, Justin, because again, WoW has a new expansion coming out, and I thought it looked pretty cool, and it's like I feel bad for saying that, like it just like it sucks, because we said we'd never talk about Activision Blizzard again, like playing their games, and it's just like, I mean, they're such a huge part of the industry and such a comfort to a lot of people.
I sat out the Call of Duty Godzilla versus Kong
Right?
event because of how I feel about Activision Blizzard.
Me and Bustin are
that was-
Godzilla nerds.
That was a difficult one. I'm probably gonna cave for this game.
Yeah.
I know it, and I apologize in advance.
Yeah. Buy it pre-owned. I mean,
I just want to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brett.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
I was just gonna say I want to validate you guys. Like I don't know how many of you were on the podcast a few years ago, but like prior to the Ubisoft coming out, literally all I played was Ubisoft.
Yeah,
I played every Ubisoft game. I love every Ubisoft game, even the bad ones. Like they're just my jam. And I just, and I still, the last 2 years have been fucking hard. I think all the games, I don't care how they review, they all look great to me. I think I would have loved Riders Republic, but I think the last one I played was Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I was like still playing it kind of when the stuff was coming out, and I was just like, while I was playing it, I was like, I'm fucking bummed. Like, this sucks. Like, and I agree, it's not fair that we're just trying to live our lives day to day, just get through the struggle that is life, and these are supposed to be this is supposed to be the escapism we come home to and just chill out with. And now we got this whole fucking moral quandary about like how many people's marriages were ruined to do this DLC. Like, it just, I don't know where I'm going with it. It just fucking sucks. And that's why I'm never going to judge anyone for the decisions they make. I think everyone's just doing their best out there.
Right.
And,
exactly. That's what
it's
I
not
can
our
do.
fault. It's not our fault that these companies are the way they are.
I get it. I'm like Justin, right? Like, I love shooters. I love shooter campaigns. Some of my favorite games in the last however many years. Like, I loved Titanfall 2. right? I loved both Doom games. I love both Wolfenstein games. Half-Life and Half-Life 2 are formative experiences for me. I used to play so much of the Unreal series. Like,
I
do
love
really,
Unreal.
yeah, I
fucking
really
love that
enjoy
shit.
shooters. I really enjoy that style. So I've played and enjoyed. I've played most Call of Duty campaigns and enjoyed some of them. But you know, it's
Like-
one thing when it's like, okay, these games are kind of military propaganda in the way that a lot of American pop culture is, maybe much more explicit than most things, but like I know it, and you're not gonna sucker me into joining the fucking military. I'm 31 and gay, like that's not happening anyway. But also like I know that I'm not gonna suddenly believe that everything the American military does is just and not understand the like, you know, imperialist undertones of the way it is often used and the way that it exploits the young people who are brought into it. But like I can't fucking support with some of the shit that's been going on in Activision Blizzard, and all I can do is hope that Microsoft, if the purchase goes through, will actually put a handle on some of that shit. I did just see that Microsoft booted some extremely high-ranking person for watching like VR porn at work and making women uncomfortable.
Yeah,
So
it was
like
the HoloLens guy.
yeah. So like, you know what?
What the
Maybe
fuck?
maybe
I just saw that.
Microsoft maybe Microsoft will, you know, will take care of that, but I can't know that for sure.
Bill's
So-
watching hollow porn again.
Yeah.
Like,
But the nice thing is that on PC at least, these games are returning to Steam, so I can go back to buying dirt cheap gray market CD keys and not giving and actually fucking over Activision Blizzard. So
Right.
you know, I'll do that. I'll spend $8 for these fucking games to burn through the campaigns once. But yeah, let's Call of Duty.
So speaking of going back and talking about our previous views and, you know, how it's affecting us now, there was a game announced right after Call of Duty called Flashback 2. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like Zach was like, oh yeah, that was a game. Like,
I'm a
back.
bad retro PC gamer. I do not know what Flashback is.
This was
I
one
don't.
I didn't even know. I didn't know about.
Never heard of
either.
it.
No. I
And,
played
like,
so many old PC games.
it was like so confusing. It annoyed me because it like they presented it like I was supposed to know what it was, and then just gave all these random ass fucking
It's
clips.
an old like 92 MS DOS game.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
Genesis
That's
game
real
too. This was
old.
for like 5 people in the audience. This was like pretty bad.
Yeah.
Man. Like if they announced the Oregon Trail 2 or fucking like
Oregon Trail. There have been like several of those. There's
or
more
like
than
no, I'm trying to think what's another it's like old like PC game. What's that fucking old text adventure game that's like in fucking Call of Duty like that? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, it's like some old announcement like that.
I don't
So
know.
yeah, I saw that and I was like, I didn't even know what was going on. Like,
Mhm.
I was like, not only is this a game I do not recognize, I don't understand what's happening because everything just went by so fast. So it was a kind of disappointing and underwhelming announcement for me. I feel like there is a way to kind of bring up old obscure games, and this wasn't it.
Yeah, I got no real feel for like what am I supposed to be excited for other than this is
Right.
an old game. Like there wasn't a lot of gameplay. What was there was not super compelling. I'm guessing it's going to be like a Metroidvania style game, but that's a guess.
mhm,
Give me more. You got to give me more.
exactly.
have we arrived at the turtles part of the discussion yet?
Not yet.
No, we're not
Next-
there. We'll
not-
get there. Calm
Yeah.
down.
We got
I
to start
wanna
going a
talk
little bit
about some-
faster though.
Talk about some torts.
Witchfire
Witchfire looks good.
looks.
fine.
I don't know.
Good.
I don't know shit about it, but I like a shooter. It's weird.
It's a medieval shooter. That's what I like
Yeah.
about it. It
Yeah, like-
takes FPS into like a
Give me some
medieval-
Doom
it's from
vibes.
Painkiller developers.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Yeah.
Bulletstorm. Yeah, the vanishing of Ethan
Oh,
Carter. Yeah,
Bulletstorm. Okay.
Uh,
Just by the way, the lead dev, the guy who leads that studio, is a Gamergate fuckhead. So just throwing that out
Oh,
there.
John, goddamn.
Fuck.
You know, the
We
same
just
studio
got
that did
done talking-
same people that did Vanishing of Ethan Carter, right?
Yeah.
Finishing
that guy
Ethan Carter's
fucking
so good.
That guy fucking sucks.
Ah.
All right. Well,
I don't know what that
next-
means.
Well, I got
next-
bit by
Speaking
my
of
cat
dudes
on
who
stream,
fucking suck.
Speaking of dudes who suck,
just throwing it out there.
let's head over to Fort
Was the-
Solis. That is
Wait, was
next.
this where the Rock
No, this
showed
is
up?
not Troy Baker. Well, one of
No,
the
I
8
think
Troy
this is.
Baker
No, this is
appearances.
right before. That is when the Rock showed up.
No, it's after.
He's like,
It's
no,
after.
I'm here in the gym.
Trailer,
I'm here in the gym with no shirt, drinking my goddamn
Fort
energy drink.
Fort Solis was a game that there was almost no information on, but it looks like a cool, weird, vibey, like
Roger
sort
Clark is in it. That is
sci-fi
so
horror
cool.
thing. Yeah, Roger Clark is in it, balancing out Troy Baker. So
That's what I felt. Okay, so that's what I was going to say. So first off, I'm going to talk about the game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that really kind of overwhelmed me about Summer Games Fest as a whole is that there were so many of these like alien space shooter games.
still a lot of sci-fi games and a lot of horror.
A lot of sci-fi, a lot of horror, and like it was either like this, like it was like a super engaging story trailer, then you get a little bit of gameplay, right? Kind of like Calypso, and then you had the ones in between that's like fucking like just deep fucking like heavy metal, you know.
Okay.
And so it was
I
like
was gonna say I don't remember them hearing any deep fucking during this, but
I mean anyway, so Fort Solis was, I was like, okay, this is, you know, just another like space game where shit's gonna be weird. And then I heard Troy Baker's voice and I was like, God fucking damn it. I was like, God damn
Glad
it.
he's finally getting some work. It's been so overdue.
look,
And like, so
Glad he's
Troy
getting
Baker
noticed.
is good at what he does, right?
He's
like
talented, yeah.
but I'm
he's
tired
very
of
talented.
fucking hearing his normal ass Troy Baker ass voice.
I'm tired of hearing Troy Baker. He really just pulls me out of the element, like he
He's
did in
also
that
at his
trailer.
best when he's doing like an accent or
Yeah.
something else.
Right.
If there's
Right,
if there's one, I mean, there's a lot of good things about Critical Role, but if there's one excellent thing about Critical Role, is that it took some of the most prolific, recognizable actors of the industry and made them super fucking busy, so that I wouldn't constantly have to hear Laura Bailey cast as Laura Bailey as 8,000
I-
characters a year. And I like Laura Bailey, but god
Yeah.
damn it.
You know, it's
I
all
think-
it's just white people getting jobs, and we need more diversity and opportunities for other people.
You're not wrong. Give more jobs to Kaiji Tang.
Yeah.
Here's what we do. We need Troy Baker to do even more voice acting work so we can stop tweeting. I think
Oof.
if he's busy, then we'll be spared whatever awful takes.
They say
love it.
he's still learning about and having open discussions about NFTs. So
He's still crying.
Of course he
there's
is.
that.
Of course he is. What wasn't it like? What didn't you want to do like NFT voice shit?
I don't
It
know.
got, he,
I don't know how
he
the
pulled
fuck
out
that
of
works.
that after
Yeah.
Yeah, he
2 days
did.
of just
It's okay.
getting
He didn't know either.
roasted.
Getting
Well,
flamed
like
by
so that's
yeah.
what makes me mad, and I don't want to turn this into a shit on Troy Baker thing. But what made me mad
Shit on him a little bit.
Yeah, what made me mad specifically about that was that he doubled down on it for 2 fucking days and finally was like, all right, guys, guess you win. You know, like, I'm open to discussing this.
I
and
don't
it's
think
like,
he's an awful dude. I think he's just a
No, he's just-
dipshit.
Yeah, he's
Like,
just,
he's a talented dipshit.
Oh my god, 100%. He's such a phenomenal voice actor. But then, like, what is it? The post Last of Us 2's release, and then the NFT stuff. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
just step
There's
away.
a lot of talented dipshits out there.
Step
Like,
away, buddy.
it's
just like-
fine.
He's just one of those stereotypical "I'm an actor"
Yeah.
kind
I'm
of
not
guy.
even talented and I'm a dipshit, so at least he's got one up on me.
But I'm happy.
I will say that I loved fucking seeing Roger Clark there. Like,
Yes.
he deserves more love and recognition. Because I haven't heard him outside of Red Dead.
No, the
2.
closest thing we have to a gaming's Toshiro Mifune, in my opinion, or a John Wayne, or all these classically trained actors. I'm so happy he's getting.
Yeah, but he's just
another-
genuinely
he's awesome.
a nice, down to earth dude, and it's good to see him get more recognition. I will never not think of Arthur Morgan when I hear him or when I see him, and
So
you know, I'm just glad that he's getting opportunities to kind of branch out from that role, even
Yeah.
if it's my
Well,
favorite.
while we're talking about him, somebody said that they hope he does the voice for Wolverine in Insomniac's game, and I cannot get that possibility out of my head now.
That would be really good.
Someone here's what's gonna happen. Someone's gonna tweet. I hope one of the voice actors from that new sci-fi game gets a role in gets to play Wolverine, and then
Oh, no.
Insomniac's
And
gonna
then Troy
listen.
Baker? Troy
Insomniac's
Baker.
gonna listen, and they're gonna cast fucking Troy Baker.
Oh no!
As
Don't do
Wolverine.
that.
How
Now that
fucking
you've
dare
said
you?
that- Now that you've said that, CJ,
It happens.
It's gonna be Scott McNeil.
Oh wow, that would actually be really good.
He's done it
Yeah.
before. It's gonna be
Really good.
Scott McNeil because he hasn't done it in a while, but he's native Canadian and like
for
they're
for
gonna.
those nerds who
yeah.
know, Scott McNeil is Koga from the Inuyasha anime.
He's half of fucking Beast Wars. Like
yeah.
Yep, that's what I know him from.
I know they asked John, but he, respectfully declined. And what a stand-up guy. Fucking stand-up guy to step down.
All right, so next
like
was
should
could
explore
be
this.
fucking Shorzy.
next was routine.
Routine looks sick, and that's been like a decade coming. So
I never thought we would see this game.
I thought this was dead.
This was the biggest surprise of the show for me, just because I thought this game had been dead and buried for years.
Yeah,
There
I was gonna say, how long ago did we first hear about this, Justin?
Okay, it was literally announced 10 years ago.
It definitely unsettled me. Like the
It's creepy. The fucking robot face.
Yeah.
Like,
But
no.
well, not
there
like the
was-
shaking. Like that's
there
what
was
I don't
one
like.
point-
Yeah.
There was one point that was like 5-6 years ago when it had a release date, and then it just didn't come out.
Ah, the old Kingdom Hearts method, huh?
and then they have gone silent on the project since then. I'm like, okay, there's no way we're ever seeing this game again. And apparently it's coming out. So that was cool to see.
Gives us hope for that one Silent Hill, but not Silent Hill game was abandoned.
And then
That's
one
not-
Did you
Game of
read
the
I
Year
got
the
bad
was-
GameSpot
news for you on
article
that,
came out
Britt.
last week?
That's a scam.
No.
That's a
No,
scam.
no, that's not happening.
There's no
it
game.
was a scam.
There's no game. That studio does that all the time. They build up big things and try to get investors, and then there's never a game, and they just don't deliver anything. Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
if that game's not coming out, then my Bored Ape isn't worth anything, Derek. All right, like I.
Why don't you just sell it back to Seth Green then?
I mean,
next
Yeah.
up.
Make
Next
that
up
show,
after
I'm saying,
routine.
good,
It's
pretty funny for it.
Stormgate.
No, it's The Rock, baby.
We're not talking about that. So Stormgate.
Okay,
Please, we
The
gotta
Rock
talk about
pulled
that. We
a John.
gotta mention The Rock.
The Rock pulled a John and just posted himself in the gym. What a fucking
Yeah, and then went on to
could
shill
not-
every single thing he's ever done or partnered with.
Oh my god! So the Rock segment was so funny.
And then shows a Black Adam trailer that had been out for days.
Looking at a Black Adam trailer. Like,
Wait, guys,
He showed nothing to do with the video game.
Keep
He
in mind-
mentioned
keep
that
in-
he was in Fortnite, and then he just went on about energy drinks,
keep in mind.
talking about
talked
his
about
time in the
Black
gym.
Adam.
Black
He
Adam.
was in the gym.
It was so
He
obvious
smelled.
that
He made
couldn't-
sure to tell you he smelled.
It
Yeah.
was so obvious that he couldn't be asked to write anything, and was just like, "All right, I gotta mention this many
Guys,
things
Keep
in my."
mind, he was people paid to see this in IMAX too. They got fucking Dwayne the Rock Johnson for like a whole fucking segment. Someone paid
Drink
money
more
to-
Ovaltine.
His monologue lasted longer than some fucking game trailers did. It was great.
And then we got the
So
Black
this
Adam
was-
trailer we've already
this,
seen.
This is the kind of nonsense that, like, moving away from regular E3 streams, we've lost this.
Yeah, this
It
is
was
the Geoff
honestly
Keighley
kind of-
touch.
It was kind of nice to have
We
this
need-
come out. We haven't had the, like, car brought out on a stage moment. We haven't had these awkward celebrity, like,
The car is
Don't
coming
wanna
on
be there.
Sunday, Justin. The car is coming on Sunday.
okay.
We need Jamie Kennedy back. We need Jamie Kennedy back. No.
what I want to know? Oh God, didn't
This
he
is
say
the
like?
type of garbage that
Aisha
E3
Tyler?
used to have all the time, and I miss it.
I will never
And I
forget
was
when
glad it was here.
I will never forget when Jamie Kennedy was like, Neversoft, wasn't that the first name for Viagra?
No, man.
Like-
we need another Wii Music fiasco. We need another Konami 2010.
Here's what I want to know: what the fuck is Arc 2 starring Vin Diesel? Like, why haven't we seen that yet?
Well, The
Like,
Rock was there, so he wanted to keep his distance. So.
Can't put them
Oh,
both
awkward.
together.
They both have a clause where they can't be in the same conference as the other
Yeah.
one.
Brittany's like,
it's like parts
Brittany's
of
like
the
these
contract.
fucking yokels. Like, can we just get back on track?
But
Brittany,
now I
get us
do
back on
agree.
track.
I do agree with Britt. We got to talk about Stormgate.
Stormgate.
Get us back on track.
Because it's
Keep
the StarCraft
integrity
2
of Summer
team.
Games Fest, okay?
Is it the StarCraft 2 team?
It's
I
a
didn't know
StarCraft
that.
2
is.
team making
Yeah.
a new RTS because Blizzard won't, and if they did, it would be awkward right now. So
Frost Giant Studios. So I will say my biggest complaint is that the animation didn't look the best, and
Yeah.
the voice acting was kind of, I don't know, like
You can tell it's a small studio and this is early in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a CG trailer. Like, I'm like, okay, like it's a CG trailer with space fighting characters. Like, it's something I haven't seen a billion times. Like, that's not a judgment on what I mean. The actual game could be amazing, but I just don't see how anybody could be about like.
I mean, the trailer also. I would not have known it was an RTS if they didn't tell me. Afterwards.
I thought it was going to be like an action adventure game. Yeah.
Yeah. And then next, anybody else want to talk about it?
No.
There's not much to say. Like,
they showed a couple early screenshots and some concept art after the trailer. It really wasn't much of anything.
So next up was High Water, which it's like an indie game.
Oh, it's cute.
It does. My only problem is that we are currently living in global warming. I don't want a game like about exploring global warming after the fact.
Look, we've gotten millions of post-apocalyptic games. I'm getting a game where I got to shoot, Latinos. I'll take the fucking.
We're getting a Waterworld game, okay?
Yeah,
like, Waterworld, right?
Essentially, I do like. I like that the art style is like coming into play more. Like the next game on the list, for instance, is American Arcadia. And
that game looked cool.
That American game really did look cool. It I was definitely like, this is the one that
I'm assuming that'll be like an inside type of game or Limbo
with a nicer color palette.
Yeah, but with colors that exist. But I mean, yeah, it looks fun. I like the premise.
It seems kind of like light beat and apart. It's like escaping a dystopia, but it seems kind of silly and colorful and fun. So I'm in on it.
Yeah, it's funny that like blocky, colorful art styles like being universally, adapted. And then next we had a game that I thought was a complete joke, Goat Simulator 3.
Can we? Like. Who else thought this was Dead Island 2 at first?
I did. I absolutely fucking did.
I mean, they clearly did it on purpose.
Brilliant trailer. Brilliant trailer.
I was like, oh shit, Dead Island 2.
I was like, are they bringing Dead Island back? Which
are they allowed to do that? Like that trailer?
I don't
Did
know.
They have to get approval. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, okay, Goat Simulator 3. There was no 2. It's just
That's
Goat Simulator 3. I know. Yeah. And did anyone really ask for this?
By the way, I literally just saw a tweet as we're talking about this. Imagine being terminally online enough to understand a parody of the Dead Island 2 trailer.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw that too.
How dare anyone say that to me?
Well, and they presented it like it was a shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I will say that I played Dead Island 2, so I'm at PAX, I am super fucking disappointed that it got canceled.
Is it officially canceled now?
No, it's not officially canceled.
But you're never gonna
7 years ago.
You're never gonna play it. You're never gonna play it.
Like I said, I played it at PAX when I lived in Washington, and
did anybody actually was anybody like, oh, finally my prayers, Goat Simulator 3 is here?
It doesn't matter.
They punched
the audience, John. The first game was pretty popular. This one will do good.
Was it?
Relatively. Not with your audience, not with people like you.
No, but it did good on Steam.
Like Fat for All pointed out, it was one of those games that like blew up with like silly YouTubers, right? And like kids loved it because it was popular on YouTube. And I mean, that's like a whole segment of the population that
any of the simulator games are just like funny. Yeah. Like it's like it's like Sims in a way, right? Like there really is no point. It's just cathartic to play. And
it's just a goofy game.
Yeah.
It's in that Roblox camp, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like, kids understand. It's like a whole other world there. Kids understand something that I have no idea. When I took my Xbox to my younger cousin's house to like show them sick ass racing games, they're like, oh my god, let's play Goat Simulator. I got pissed. I'm fucking pissed. So I mean, they'll probably enjoy this. This is for them. This is for the stray 10-year-old watching.
Yeah, I mean, Goat Simulator, cool. Like that's great.
It just goes to show you that video games are universally loved by all kinds of people and different kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we have one that I was super excited for that got pushed back was Marvel's Midnight Suns.
I'm so into Midnight Suns. This is gonna rule.
I thought about you. I thought about you and Justin both when I saw that, Derek.
My fucking favorite part was hearing Yuri Lowenthal come back as fucking Spider-Man. I was like,
Excellent
that's Yuri.
choice.
I was like, yes.
They had him for Marvel Ultimate Alliance as well.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
He actually these days mostly, except for Marvel's Avengers, he mostly actually does get called in to voice Spider-Man in the Marvel games, which is cool. I love it. I love that.
He is such a phenomenal like Peter Parker. It's incredible, and like that alone sold me on this game. Like
the voice cast for the game's pretty awesome. Like the guy that Blade is Black Dynamite.
Oh, really?
Oh shit!
Really? No shit.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, but
Fuck,
Midnight
I gotta
Suns
play
looks
it.
cool. Yeah, they showed off Venom. They showed off Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I am too. I didn't really know a lot about it when I think the first time I heard of it is actually when we were doing our picks for the league, and I was looking over the games that were supposed to release this year, and I was like, I don't know if I know this. And then I saw the trailer today, and I was like, yes, it looks so fucking good. Like, it doesn't look like it's gonna be a disappointment. Yuri Lowenthal in it. I'm in. That's it. That's all I needed. And if you pre-order, you get Doctor Strange. So
Yeah,
You
that
get costume
skin
for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that skin looks really good.
mhm.
I just like that it's something Marvel that's very off like MCU branding. This is
Yes.
somebody who like I enjoy the MCU, right? I'm not like one of these internet poisoned like film Twitter nerds who just needs to be like very
I
upset
hate
that,
this because it's
that Marvel
ruining
exists.
cinema.
Like it's not high cinema, but I enjoy it. You
I
know,
do
You trying to tell me something?
what's up?
You trying to tell me something?
I'm not saying shit about you. You do the important work, CJ, of trying to introduce people to different movies and good movies, and that's the real work that needs to happen. But like, this is something super weird and super different. All of these characters are very outside of even their like standard comic book style appearances, going into like demons and like is this a realm that Marvel tends to not go. I mean,
And gameplay wise, it's very different from what you'd expect too. It's a strategy card-based strategy game. Like,
Well,
yeah,
It
it's
seems
nice. Yeah, it's nice to get a different perspective on the Avengers. That's not, like you said, the Avengers that we know in MCU.
yeah.
You know, because the X-Men are a huge part of that, and then you have Wolverine, and they have Nico Mamoru, who is she's part of the Runaways cast.
Yeah.
So it's
what a
cool.
great pull.
Yeah, it's like the characters are just like, it's all just great because it's from current stuff and you know old stuff.
Robbie Ray as
now.
Ghost Rider instead of Johnny Blaze.
I noticed
like,
that. Yeah, I saw the jacket. That's good. I like
and
that.
they got like the demon style for some of the like
Can
villains.
we talk
like,
about Demon Venom? How fucking cool he looks.
fucking
Like,
Satan Venom? Hell yeah!
Devil Venom. His fucking tongue just like green fire.
So apparently that lady is Lilith, and the reason why she exists is because Hydra revived her. So that's like the story. that-
hey, hot scary demon lady. Like I'm in.
you know,
I
I'm not
don't-
complaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, so next up is, speaking of being thirsty, we have Cuphead, and I said speaking of being thirsty because it's a cup and you drink out of it. So before
That's
anybody
not what I
thinks
heard. That's not
Well
what I
done,
assumed.
Britt. Well done.
Oh, you shouldn't have explained it.
So we have Cuphead, the
Hmm.
DLC, Delicious Last Course. I enjoy Cuphead. I don't know
It's
if
a
it
good
needed
game.
its own spot for DLC.
We've seen this
it was
presented
clearly
several times.
Yeah,
like,
it was clearly a plug for the show, which I am not a fan of the art style, and
Me
you
neither.
know, I feel like it's
I mean,
just
this DLC's been in the works for a
For like
really,
Yeah.
4
really
years or some
long
shit
time.
now, right? Like it's been years.
it takes a lot of time to put a female into a video game, apparently. So
I mean, if you're
animate.
they're very hard to animate. They're very hard to throw
What
those
was that?
They
animations
don't
in
walk
there.
the same
Creed?
way, you
Was that
know.
Assassin's
yeah.
Creed.
You can't
yeah.
just make a female model and like put the male animations on it, because then she
It's-
walks
it's
like
way
this
easier.
instead of like
Yeah,
this.
Way
And
easier
like,
to,
yeah.
what is it?
that
It's
is
way easier to
okay.
make a-
That is one thing. Going back to the Midnight Sun trailer, it was like, could we stop the like strut that females do where they walk with their fucking hips?
Oh, yeah.
The
Like,
I noticed
catwalk,
that.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I fucking hate that.
I'll tell you what
So
though.
ridiculous.
Ubisoft could take
I'm
some
gonna learn to
lessons
do
from
that.
Ubisoft could
Me
learn a thing
too.
or two from Midnight Suns. Okay, that's how you animate a woman right there. That's how it's done.
I think
Take
we're actually
note,
arguing that's
Ubisoft.
literally not how you do it, but okay.
And then next after that we have Neon White. So I got my booster shot today and it made me super tired, so I took a nap and I missed the whole show. So I was able to like skip like the interviews and stuff like that. And I got to this game and I watched the first bit of it and I was like, nah, and I skipped it. So if somebody else wants to take the reins on this,
I think
one,
Neon White looks cool. I like the
I
idea
tuned
of
out on Neon
kind of
White.
randomization and card battling elements into this fast-paced first-person like action game. The only thing is, like, if the focus is on speed running it, like, that's probably not my way of doing things. So I don't know how much is going to be in this game for me. But stylistically, I vibe with it.
If what is it? SDGC fans will remember.
FLCL?
It was SDGC. I'm
Yeah, I can't
tired.
really hear you anymore.
I
Can you
can't
guys
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes. Yeah, there you are.
Okay, so eagle-eyed listeners will remember last year during a Nintendo Direct, I pointed out that this looks like an Ultra Christian Doom, and I still think that's the only thing I've ever.
oh, I can see
It's
that.
too horny to be an ultra Christian Doom.
Listen,
Christianity's
It's
pretty horny.
definitely at least
Oh.
35% horny. Like,
35 is not that bad.
yeah.
And then after that, we had a lot of anime style games, which
God, we had
reminded
Midnight Fight Express, which I
Yeah,
barely remember.
We were joking about that in the Discord.
It was like what,
the anime
3
section.
Hoyoverse games in a row?
Yeah.
It was. I
No, we
will
had
say
two.
the one that looked most interesting to me was Zenless
Yeah,
Zone
Zenless Zone
Zero.
Zero could be cool. That looks like a maybe fun character action game.
So is this by
Was
the
that
same
the one?
studio who did Genshin?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
That makes
it's,
sense.
yeah.
Which was the one that had like some lady just sitting sipping tea while like a satellite orbital bombardment?
It
hit
could
the
have been
ground
either
behind
of
her?
these two. I
think
don't
it was-
remember.
I think it was Honkai.
I think it was Honkai
Star
Star
Rail.
Rail.
Yeah.
Because that one shot of the trailer stuck with me. I thought that was good.
Well, that one, like that game, just looked very horny because that girl was talking to that guy and like getting in his
It's-
face.
Let's
It
be
was
real. It's from the
very
Genshin
anime.
folks. It's gonna be horny.
It's an
Yeah, it was-
anime game. Of course,
It
it's
was
horny.
very anime. And then after that, John, guess what we have?
What's that? What do we
We
got?
got them turtles.
We got the turtles.
We gotta talk about the turtles.
Yeah.
I'm
Hell,
fucking stoked for
I
Casey
can't
Jones.
believe we are playing it next week.
Yeah,
like
I know.
I am so fucking well. Brittany might be playing it earlier, but
Yeah.
we are so fucking excited about fucking this was the highlight of the fucking show for me. Like Shredder's Revenge is right up there with Live Alive for my most anticipated game this year. I'm not even fucking joking. I know we got big stuff coming out this year, but Turtles in Time is one of my favorite fucking games. And
If it's not one of your favorite games, get out. I don't want you.
Yeah. and this is the spiritual successor to Turtles in Time I have been wanting for over 15 fucking years. Like
Mhm.
this shit fucking rules. 6-player co-op, just like X-Men, fucking online. I can't fucking wait. It looks
It's-
so gorgeous. Casey Jones, I am fucking ready. I am ready to fucking roll.
I
Like,
don't know
oh,
who I want to play. Like
I gotta go with
Casey-
Leonardo.
Casey, April, like April's in it and she hits you with a fucking massive camera. Like, come on. It's just
I gotta
It's-
go with
Is this from
I'd go
the
with
team
Leo.
that did the Scott Pilgrim?
Yes,
Yes.
Tribute
game?
Games.
Okay,
Yes.
because I was like, because that pixel
Pilgrim
art
versus the
and
World.
that music hit me as soon as I saw it. I'm like, that has to be the developer behind it.
They are.
I
And
actually
it looks...
have never played any of the Turtles games.
Oh, Justin, like, dude,
I'm
you're
excited for this game.
you're in
This
for a
seems really good.
Justin. I'm
Justin.
like genuinely surprised. That was like
Justin. Yeah, you're
No,
in
me
for a
either.
fucking treat.
We played
Like-
that X-Men arcade game and the Simpsons arcade game back.
This is
like we didn't.
Turtles
we didn't have the
in
Turtles
Time
one.
Turtles in Time is probably the best 2D arcade beat 'em up. Like, I mean, it is.
I will
pretty
say
good.
that Simpsons rivals that, but yes, I think overall Turtles in Time.
Like, can you imagine if the same team did a Simpsons 2D beat 'em up next?
Oh
I
my
was gonna say,
God,
I was
bro.
gonna suggest that. I was like, I fucking
Game
need
of the
that.
fucking decade right there. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
The Simpsons
Oh.
fucking beat 'em up was stellar. But this is
It just looks fucking fun. Like
somebody-
I'm so excited.
somebody in chat just said Turtles in Time is easily the Chrono Trigger of brawlers. Yeah, no, that's a solid
Yep,
play right there.
I'll agree with that. I'll
Um,
agree with that.
And
As somebody who
it's-
loves Chrono Cross, I'll agree with that.
now this leaked. No, this like we kind of knew this was coming because it leaked a few days ago. That the release date was the 16th. And then earlier today, before the presentation, it actually popped up on the Japanese eShop to be released on the 16th. So not entirely shocking. I think a lot of people thought that it was going to be at the Nintendo Direct we know is going to happen next week. As opposed to Keely's show. I was expecting that personally. I was expecting next week to be like Turtles in Time at the Direct, and you could play it later today. And but this is great. Like I think this is outstanding, and I love seeing this game get that kind of platform because it looks like it absolutely fucking deserves it.
Yeah, agreed. It looks like a solid game. I'm super excited for it. I think everybody is.
It's a
Which is
game we
funny.
fucking need right now. I just want to
Yeah.
run around as a giant mutant turtle and beat up fucking and
Get
beat
that
up ninjas.
nostalgia
That's-
going, like
yeah.
we can order
It's,
pizza and stream this game. Like I'm
Isn't
telling
it great that we're getting 2 Turtles games this year because we have that collection coming out?
Yeah, the
Obviously.
Turtles. And Justin, you'll
indeed
get your
good.
chance to play Turtles in Time later this year.
and it'll be with me. It can't be with
And-
anybody else except for me.
Okay, all right.
It can be
That's
with me
fine.
too, though, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
we'll
can join.
see.
Okay. Wow.
Only if Britt says it's okay.
Okay, so
Can I play
and,
with Justin? Can I play with Justin? Because him and I play video games together. Can I play with
yeah, and you never invite me. So next up we have One Piece Odyssey. Which
I don't even know what a One Piece is.
it's a very long
The
one does.
problem
animated series.
No one knows what the One Piece is actually.
here's
is
part
that?
of the problem is I am a fucking anime and manga nerd, and like I can't get into One Piece because it's so monolithically big that it feels like if you weren't into it I'm talking 10 years ago, if you were not already into it by then, it's too late. There's too much of it. I'll
I'm just gonna
never get
stop you
through it.
there
Okay.
because as someone that literally just got into it 2 months ago and is now almost caught up.
How
This
the
game's gonna be
fuck?
fucking dope as hell.
Are you,
Sid,
Finn, are you talking
Finn,
It
about
looks
the
good.
manga?
How's that kid doing? Are they okay?
Yeah, how are you
Yeah.
managing that with a child? Like
Because I'm just reading the manga, and let me
Gonna say-
tell you, reading a couple volumes in bed, and you catch up real quick.
It's a good replacement for sleep.
how who's your favorite character?
Right now, well, I don't want to spoil for normal people, but my boy,
Fucking
my boy
normies.
Frankie.
I love
Wow, I'm so spoiled.
Nami and Sanji. Those are my
I mean, Sanji's right up there, and then
Yeah.
you know, so-
Nami's one of the
and
ones
I-
the internet's always horny for. I
so,
do know that one.
well, her Nico Robin, but okay. So I started watching just the anime, and then I was like, see, that's where they get you, because 30 minutes, and then you have all the filler and everything. I'm like, nah. So what I do is I'll read the manga, and when I get to a part that is really good or emotional, then I'll just go to that episode just to watch that part. It be animated.
Okay.
So
Can anybody tell me what it's a piece of? Like
No.
what is the
No,
we don't know what is
the
it a
name
piece
of the legendary treasure is the one. I do know this part is the
Yeah.
One Piece, but nobody knows what it actually is. It's just
However,
called the
the
One
Is
Piece.
it like a
creator of
bikini or
The creator of One Piece has announced that he is now working on the final.
It's presumably
Arc.
going to be revealed what the One Piece is at
Yes.
the very end of everything.
Oh no, he did say that he's going to announce it, and it's not going to be something bullshit like the friends we made along the way. It's going to be a real thing. The creator actually had to come out and say, "No, guys,
now I
it's not
actually
gonna be-
want now I
it's
actually
not
want the
gonna be
one
that."
No, Finn. Now I want the One Piece to be I want the One Piece to be the heart that we all shared, the one soul that we all shared at the
Anyway,
end of the
the
day.
point is, this
Like,
game is going to be an RPG based
That was
on
the One Piece.
the anime, and that just makes me happy because we've had Muso games, we've had open world, but we haven't had an RPG.
Yeah,
It's
so this
cool
game is
when-
also being developed by the people who did Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which was
Oh.
one of my favorite games last
Okay,
year.
shit.
So and also just like One Piece is huge. This is a good move. Because there's so many fans of it because it's been around for so long. It's like JoJo, you know? Like it's just one of those things that it keeps drawing people in because so many people love it.
For the longest time, it was my white whale because, like Derek, it was just so daunting. And then
Yeah.
I got a Shonen Jump app subscription, which lets you just read every manga ever unlimited, and so for $1.99. So I'm like, you
And
know what,
using
fuck it, I'll
promo
do it.
code Saki.
Yeah, right. But no, but so I was
wish,
like,
man.
fuck it, I'll jump
show
in and
for it.
give
I
it a
love it.
shot because I have so many friends that it's just like their fucking favorite anime, and I'm like, you know what? Why not?
I will say it's cool that we're finally getting an anime game that isn't a fighting game.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
tired of-
always Naruto
I'm
Ultimate
tired.
Ninja ripoffs. It's because it's
God,
all
no.
CyberConnect 2 making bad
Right.
arena
My thing
fighters.
is,
I hate anime games that are just straight up fighter games because
That's my thing.
I'm
Unless it's
dog
Dragon
shit
Ball
at fighter
Fighters.
games.
Well,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Fighters is like it's an example because it feels like an actual like fighting game that's been crafted with like love, and it isn't just a generic ass like 3-on-3 open like area like 3D fighter. What if Martin Scorsese directed? Who's in the chat? Why are you throwing me off? Anyway, no, I'm just happy that we're getting it. Look, you know, it reminds me a lot of Dragon Quest 11. It has a lot of that same vibes, and I'm really excited. I really do wish we got more anime games like that. Like my pipe dream
Agreed.
is just make a beat 'em up.
Although
Make
I
a
will
JoJo
also,
beat 'em up that
I
plays
will
like Yakuza.
take as many Dynasty Warriors spin-offs as people want to make.
I know
Keep
you
them coming
will.
at me.
I know. I don't know why we haven't gotten a Final Fantasy Muso yet, to be honest. with you.
Because they hate money, John.
I want a Star Wars Muso too.
Because they hate money too.
Derek, I'm
SDGC
sorry. I'm
Muso.
sorry. Please. Oh, dude, if there was an SDGC Muso, I would just have a hammer. I would just be, and I would be.
Nobody
mowing-
brought that up. Shut
Okay,
the fuck
so
up.
I just spilled my wine.
I
next
would
to
be
Soul
mowing-
Hackers.
Mute.
Soul Hackers is next. I'll be right back.
Okay. What was up next? Soul Hackers. So I love that I've got John muted. So he's just yelling. I'm gonna unmute you, bud.
Anyway, Soul Hackers looks fucking outstanding.
Soul Hackers looks outstanding, but I will admit my very first thought was, okay, like looking back at One Piece, I was like, so One Piece is based on one of the biggest and most popular cartoons and comics in history, and they can't afford an English dub, but fucking Soul Hackers 2 can get an English dub? Okay.
What's
Okay.
really interesting to me is that Soul Hackers was a 3DS game, and this Soul Hackers 2 is going and is
Notably not a
Nintendo
3DS
system.
game, if you pay attention.
What? Yeah, like this is very much not a Nintendo game at all. That really surprises me. Not that that's a bad or a good thing. I just was not expecting that. But I think it looks fantastic. I love the aesthetic of the game. Soul Hackers was a great fucking game. Wait, am I wrong? Soul Hackers DS or 3DS?
I didn't play it. I don't know. Shit.
Okay,
I've
it was like-
literally never heard of Soul Hackers. So
It's
I
a
was
Shin Megami
surprised
Tensei
there is a
spin-off.
two.
It's a Shin Megami Tensei.
I want to say
spin-off.
DS.
Was it DS? Finn?
Roarnado's saying 3DS.
3DS.
so-
Okay.
3DS. Okay.
But
no,
no,
DS was a Devil Summoner.
Devil Summoner. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is another great game. No, no, it's a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off. It's Soul Hackers is great. So I expect great things out of this fucking game. It's not quite the Atlas announcement I was hoping for, but because we already know that this
You're
game
never getting
exists.
Persona 5 on Switch. It's not.
No, I'm
happening.
talking about no. I'm not, dude. I'm talking about P4G.
Can
well,
I
yeah.
talk about something just real quick because it
Yes.
just happened? So I just spilled my wine all
I
over,
noticed. I'm
Ooh.
so sorry.
all over my fucking mouse pad, and I have one of those ones that like the keyboard goes on top, the huge one, right? And
Yes.
like literally spilled all over it. There's not a single stain, right? It's a Galaxy. No stain. Nothing.
Hell yeah.
You see, Britt,
Like-
this is why I prefer a normal glass. It's a shorter profile,
Okay.
it's a little more
hold
stable.
on. Wait. can you
but
just-
someone made fun of me the one. Okay, I got nothing.
Yeah. No, I'm just an
I got
idiot.
nothing.
I'm not even drunk. I'm just an idiot. But yeah, this thing didn't fucking stain, and I'm just incredibly blown away. Continue.
Soul Hackers. I don't think any of us
next-
played Soul Hackers, did
next
we?
is-
I
did.
none of us have any idea.
No,
what this
I
game
did.
is.
Okay.
I did.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's a great fucking game.
Speaking
John,
of,
quick question. Hold up,
Whoa.
because I know nothing about the Megami Tensei games with the exception of Persona 5. In your professional opinion, and I'm gonna give you too much credit here, and I need you to not run with it. You are the JRPG expert of this group. Are any of the modern ones like worth? Stop. And are any of the modern ones like truly worth like my time personally as someone
Any
who
of
is
the
more
I'm
interested?
sorry.
Any modern like Megami Tensei games, with the exception of like Persona 5. He's someone who isn't necessarily a JRPG guy, but someone who really does like the sort of heady or brainy or like the sort of
I mean, like
how-
almost
how-
all
The
of them.
Shin
So-
Megami franchise
so-
is way more esoteric than
So let me say this. Shin Megami Tensei itself is not for you, I don't think. I think something like Persona 3 or Persona 4 Golden would be a good place to start for you because they're just as focused on social relationships as they are with combat. And plus those are some of the like Persona or some of the, especially 3 onward, are some of the most stylish games you could come across.
But does CJ want to study for midterms? I don't know.
I mean, those games are, I mean, like from a story perspective and, you know, building relationships with different characters, like few games do it as well as the Persona games do.
Persona 4 was a really unique experience the first time playing that back on PS2, end of the PS2 era. Like, really broke the mold of a lot of JRPGs
And
on that system. But
you
I
can
digress.
get P4G on Steam on PC right now.
so
and
can I bust in on this conversation?
You can.
I
Yes, you
fucking
can.
hated it. I'm be honest. I
Wow.
do not like
Wow.
the Persona games.
Wow.
I tried with 3, and I made it about an hour and 30 minutes in, and I was still in the fucking tutorial.
Oh, that's gonna happen, yeah.
where you're in the school
mean-
and you keep repeating the same fucking
Press
thing.
X to go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
that's
and
gonna
you're just
happen.
reading dialogue for hours, and I was like, maybe
You do
if I
got to
get
make it past that part.
Yeah,
but-
do.
once maybe it could be a good game, but it is rough getting into for your first time. I got both Persona 3 and 4. My Persona 4 is actually brand new, unopened, because I popped in 3 and I was like, oh no, this is for me. But
I
yeah,
got news for you, Britt. The only one I played is Persona 4 Golden, and yeah, it starts with just a mountain of dialogue. But that's actually the part I like because once you get past that and get to the dungeons, I fucking hated it. Like,
Jeff just needs to get into
go back
visual
to the
novels.
talking because the dungeons are so boring and bland.
and
You just need to
also like
get
if
into
we're gonna
VNs, man.
we're gonna talk about Persona games, we have to acknowledge that they are problematic because
Yep.
it's like dating sims and it has you dating like high school girls. And
I mean, you're a high school student, but I see what you're saying.
yeah, it's
But it's not just
People,
that,
fan
like,
bases
there's-
tend to weirdly attach to these underage girls, and like there should not be.
Takemi was the only one I pursued because I am a man of culture and taste.
Yeah.
And you know, I care about the laws.
oh, so you've played them before?
I played 5 for like 70 hours before my save got corrupted. And
That's
I went after the
heartbreaking.
nice goth nurse, and
The
I'm
goth,
like, yeah,
the
this
goth doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, Goth
Oh,
Doctor. Yeah.
doctor. She that was it. The game of the century right there. Anyway, continue.
That game let me re-experience college and bone my teacher.
And okay, so Futaba Sakura was the best girl in that game. But moving on, we have Metal Hellslinger, which was again a Doom like super
like a
heavy
really-
metal.
We've seen this game several times.
Yeah.
It seems cool, I guess. You probably need
There's
to
a
play it to
demo
really be
out.
sold on it.
There's a demo out, so I'm gonna
Right.
try out the demo.
Next one is Nightingale, which I liked last time I saw it. I just wish that the trailer was a little. So Nightingale was the one.
It was the one where you like. It's kind of a. It looks like it's kind of like an open survival-y kind of game, and you've got to like bump between different
farm and
worlds.
shit. Yeah. And like you open up portals. I don't know how it all.
If it's in that
connects.
same genre as like Subnautica or the woods, the forest, whatever it's called, like stuff like that, I'll probably be kind of into it.
Yeah, I'll play it. Like it definitely seems like my shit. And then next we have the Saints Row reboot.
I almost forgot about that shit. To be
That
honest
game's
with
gonna
you.
rule, but a boss character creator before the game comes out means nothing to me. Get me the game.
It's a
Yeah, I'm the
gimmick.
opposite. I don't really want to like shoot stuff and play the game. I just want to fuck around with the character
Me
creator.
too. That's like half the reason why I
I know
want to play
interest in
video
the game,
games
but I just
is to
The
fuck
character
around
is
with the
out
character
now, right?
creator.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's
I can't
out
wait.
now, right?
till-
The character creator is, yes.
That's right. That's what I thought.
I
That's
can't
cool.
wait till the Game of the Year discussions, and Jeff just goes on about how great the character customization is.
my favorite thing to do in games is spend 5 hours on the character creator and then play 30 minutes of the game and never touch
Your
it
personal
again.
Game of the Year is this demo.
Jeff, I need to introduce you to Monster Factory. Like, yeah.
So next we have
Warhammer Darktide. It's
Yep.
Vermintide, but
Fine.
40k, and we've seen it before. Like,
I know literally nothing about Warhammer, so fine.
yeah, it's
Again,
cool,
it's
but there's
fine.
17 of these fucking games every year.
Right. Layers of Fear, which I don't remember.
Oh god, people
Not
got
Silent
so.
Hill.
People got so.
I was worried this
fucking-
was going to be Silent Hill.
Oh, like, and as soon as they said Layers of Fear 2, I was I had to pull my car over and laugh.
This is Layers
because-
of Fears, right? Like the title
Yeah.
is Layers of
or
Fears.
Layers of Fears. Yeah.
That's a Bloober
And-
Team ass move,
yeah,
man.
And I was like, well, like you could hear all the Silent
Well.
Hill fans across the world go,
Oh, don't
That was a
worry.
sigh of
Don't
relief.
worry.
That
It's
was a sigh of
coming.
relief that it
We're just
wasn't a
we're
I
Bloober
just
swear, guys.
we're just bad edging the Silent Hill fans even further.
Silent Hill's coming, guys. Don't worry. It's coming. Next presentation for sure. Like,
It's
It
fucking
looks
Bloober
fun.
Team.
Like
Bloober
it
Team's
looks-
horror games, some of them are not bad, but some of them are really dumb, and they've got some pretty bad messaging in some of their games. Like, the medium basically, in a lot of ways, accidentally says that, like, if you are the victim of abuse, then it's best if you just unexist yourself, so that you don't continue the cycle of abuse that you've been taught. Like, which I know is a slightly extreme reading of that, but like Bloober Team's got to think about their shit a little bit more. So don't like them
And-
doing Silent Hill.
And then next we have Gotham Knights.
Yes,
You know, I feel it's like we talked about this already. It looks like a very underwhelming game. It looks like it is unfinished.
I'll
and
probably
it just,
enjoy it some, but like, where's Nightwing's ass?
well, you know, that wasn't where my mind was going. Ironically, I was more so just like, this is all
There's
shit that
literally-
we've seen before.
Nightwing's
and
known for
am I
certain
crazy?
things.
Am I
Yeah.
fucking crazy? Like, does it look like he has a Fortnite glider? Like,
Yeah.
he has a Fortnite
He has
glider,
a Fortnite
right?
glider.
Yeah. Like,
Why now?
Nightwing
apparently.
has a Fortnite glider.
yeah. And it just looks underwhelming to me after the last trailer. Like, I'm not excited for it. Which is disappointing because the people who did the Arkham series, those games are really good, I've heard. And this just looks like
It looks so rough.
It's rough. And I hope I don't want it to fail. Yeah, Jason Todd looks like he has an unopened copy of Infinite Jest. I don't know what Infinite Jest is, but he definitely looks like he definitely looks like he would have bullied you in high school. But yeah, like it was like just a Jason Todd highlight, and I'm like, cool. Next. So next we have the Last of Us standalone factions multiplayer title.
I mean, we don't know shit about it other than
Yeah.
like it's a standalone
It's a
title.
long ways away. They're just showing.
I was
concept.
preparing
Yeah.
to be tired the moment Druckmann came out on stage because, like,
Okay.
here's the thing. My attitude towards all of this is I enjoyed both Last of Us games. I
So-
don't think that they're like the height of gaming. I think that the drama around them tends to be so horrifyingly overblown it makes me nauseous. I think Druckmann's kind of a dipshit. I don't think he's that bad of a guy.
So
And everybody just goes like hackles up.
So,
so
I just want to get my piece out before we
Yes.
continue.
please.
I didn't get on Twitter like before I watched this. I haven't been on Twitter much lately.
That's a good choice.
That's
yeah.
a good.
So I watched this and I was like, it genuinely looks like they upgraded it and it looks good. It looks
really
like
good.
it looks like Last of Us 2 graphics just with Last of Us.
Just with
you
Last
know,
of Us 1.
Yeah, with Last of Us.
It's Last
1.
of Us, but part 1. Like, it makes total sense.
Right, and it looks good. I just recently played Last of Us for the first time when the pandemic hit, so it hit really hard for me.
Horrible choice.
I started playing it like in 2019, and then it leaked into
Yeah.
2020. So it's like I even talked about it on the podcast. I was like, it's a very hard game to play right now with the pandemic going on and everything like that. And I will say that I think the outrage that this is happening is a little, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but it's a little harsh because
It's a little overblown, right?
we
Like,
constantly
it's a bit
get
much.
remakes and remasters of games, and I don't think just because a game came out in like 10 years ago, because Last of Us came out in
It was
2013.
2013.
that can't be.
2013.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
We're
it's-
old.
Right, so it's 9 years, right?
I think a lot of people don't realize how long it actually has been.
Right, and it's like I
But also, like, you-
think. Go ahead.
I
Jeff.
thought no, I was just gonna say like I thought we were past this. Like you don't have to buy it. Like
Yeah.
Right? Don't.
you literally could just keep the PS3 version. Like it's like I have a Blu-ray copy of Alien, and then the 4K version came out. Like nobody made me buy the 4K version. And, like better versions of shit will come out, and you don't have to buy it.
Exactly. There's not a limit on, and I'll let you go in a second, Justin. I was just gonna say there's not a limit on when you can remake or remaster something. And the thing is they had the tools to master this game, so they did it. And I don't think that's an issue. If you don't want to play, don't fucking play it. But I think it's cool that they're taking this experience and upgrading it, because that's what games are doing right now. Like they're
Well,
getting PS5 like
things-
ports.
Two things
ahead,
for
Justin.
me that really stand out that I think are kind of being overlooked about this release is one, it sounds like they're going to be adding in a lot of the accessibility features from Last of Us Part 2. And
That's cool.
Last of Us Part 2 has
Right.
probably the best set of accessibility options of any game I've ever seen. There's so many options to customize it. So there's probably a lot of people that may have played Last of
I
Us
haven't played
Part
2 yet.
that weren't able to play 1.
Okay, but
due to
so
that.
here's the
Um,
thing though, Justin. Here's the thing. I gotta get it. I gotta get this off my chest. This is exactly what's gonna happen when they release this game. They're gonna release it in September, right? And then they are going to pull the most Jim Ryan PlayStation ass move in the history of PlayStation and completely rip the PS4 remaster version off of digital storefronts.
Oh.
And
I don't
you
think,
are
no, they're not going to do that because
Yes, they will.
This is only on PS5. If the
Yeah.
PS4 version,
Oh, you make
was
a good
co-
point. You'd fuck over
if a
PS4 owners. Yeah.
yeah, if a PS4 version was coming out, I would agree with you. However, there's no PS4 version
Because the
of it.
PS3 version doesn't work on the PS4, and neither does the PS5
Yeah.
one. There would literally be no Last of Us on PS4.
They would literally be
Yeah.
taking The Last of Us
Yeah.
off of
you say
PlayStation 4.
you say that now, but their rationale is going to be, well, you know what, PlayStation 5 is the future, and
Nope,
I
100% disagree with you.
No,
That's
I'm with
not
Justin
happening.
on this. I was with you for like 15 seconds, and then I'm with
Yeah.
Justin. So,
Yeah, no,
I don't know, man.
And then
and you
Yeah, I
shouldn't
don't
be
think
proud
so.
of getting me because I'm under the effects of at least 2 different substances right now. So,
I'm Can I
I
just
want
point
you no
out
matter
that,
what state
but
you're in, Derek.
I also want to say, one other thing is,
Kentucky.
it seems like for the stuff that Sony's porting to PC, they don't want to port any of their pre-PS4 stuff over.
Yeah.
Like Uncharted is not getting a PC port of 1, 2, and 3. It's just 4 and Lost Legacy, and this is going to come to
Yeah, it
PC.
is.
So I
Isn't
think
it the trilogy and 4?
no.
Here's my
it's
thing.
4 and Lost
Justin
Legacy.
just said. Last of Us remake is cool. Granted, it looks better. I feel like Uncharted 1 is the game that needed a remake a lot more than The Last of Us.
The whole story with this, because Schreier talked about this a long, long time ago. Sony's visual arts studio, who does a lot of cutscenes and stuff, started off. They wanted to move to making games full time, and so they were starting with a remake for practice. They wanted to start with Uncharted 1, realized it was going to be way too much design work for them, so that's why they moved over to Last of Us, because they knew it would be more straightforward. And then there were issues with the project. It moved over to Naughty Dog internally. So this is something that like has a history behind it.
I just go ahead.
No, Brittany, please.
CJ.
Oh, no,
Oh,
go,
CJ.
go. I'm being an asshole. Go.
No, be an asshole. I want to hear it.
Yeah, be an
Oh,
asshole,
okay.
CJ. Let's hear it.
No, for like, okay, like what is it? Like I said that it should have been Uncharted 1. Justin hit me with the story, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. Then it should have been Jak and Daxter 1 instead of Uncharted 1. 100%. They should have remade Jak and Daxter 1 instead of.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You can play Last of Us
it's
Part 1 on PS5. I understand, and I'm not like taking away like it's not going to take it away. You know what's the worst part? I'm going to buy this shit because I hate myself. But like I feel like there is a rich library
Look at
of
the
games.
PC port.
It's true. That's also true.
Absolutely.
You're
You're
right.
absolutely right. Like they could have absolutely put these resources into another game. But
It's the most extreme diminishing returns I've seen in a long time. The sheer number of people it probably took to work on this to make a game that plays a little bit better and looks a little bit better than The Last of Us remastered on PS5. Like it does look better. It's gonna play a little better, but like
it looks good. It looks good.
the original is a really good looking game, y'all. Like
yes. So I replayed the remaster.
it holds up so well.
Yeah, I replayed the remaster. When I can't remember if it was when I got my PS5 or before. When did the PS5 come out? End of 2020?
I don't even know what time is anymore.
So I think I
November
played it
2020.
before. I think it was one of the last games I like completed and beat on my PlayStation 4. But it like, and I had to stop because it was such a heavy game during the pandemic. Because I think I finished it in like January, and then Last of Us 2 came out in I think summer of that, and I started it, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I need a break. Because it's such a heavy game. So now I'm torn because I just recently, 2 years ago, beat fucking I guess more than 2, fucking 3, almost 4 years ago. Last of Us, the first one, and now this like really cool looking HD one, and I'm like, is it gonna add to my experience? No, maybe, I don't know, like, because the it looks really good, and I don't know, like I want to play the, like, if I'm going to transition into Last of Us 2, I kind of want like the best experience, like both of them. So I'm like, do I play the first one again, or do I just jump into 2?
Can I? Sorry, but can I weigh in my 2 cents?
Please,
real quick?
Jeff. Please.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I think it's funny. I was listening to Derek describe. I don't want to get into like Druckmann and Last One. Like, you know, I think obviously like Last of Us more than Derek. It's, you know, both games.
I liked them both pretty good.
Like the first game's in probably my top 5 games of all time. Like I just absolutely adore it. I played it like 7 times. I don't normally replay games.
What, the first Last of Us?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I've played the shit out of
It
that.
is a good game. Yeah. And it's
mostly
fun.
Yeah, but I think so. I have issues with the pricing. I don't want to get into
Yes.
semantics. I'm sure people are arguing if this is a remake or a remaster. It's hard to know, really. It looks a lot better. My opinion is it's somewhere in between. I'm not convinced they threw out everything from the first one and made this from scratch. I think ground up is just a marketing term, whatever. But they're charging. So in Canada, it's $100. It's a full price. It's the same as all their other full price new release first party games, which I understand a lot of work went into it. It looks a lot better. It's a lot improved. But also,
like, if
it's
you
a
own it-
2013 game. I own it digitally on PS3. I own
You should
it
get it for like a
digitally on
$20
PS4.
upgrade.
Right.
You know,
there should be an upgrade price like they did with
precedent.
Yeah,
they've
that's what I
set
think too.
precedent for other games. I understand it's not cross-gen. It's actually a new PS5 game, but that, you know, so whatever. But
what was the game that they just recently charged like an up fee to upgrade it? Was it
They've done it with a bunch of them. Like, Ghost of Tsushima was locked
That's what it was.
behind.
That's what I was thinking of.
But it was like confusing. It's like because I owned it on PS4, but so it's like locked behind a director's cut on PS5 for $30. You can't just do a straight PS5. Even if you don't want the new content, you have to just buy the full package. And then Spider-Man PS5 was locked behind a really expensive Miles Morales. But whatever, I have issues with the pricing. I think all I wanted to say was I fully agree this wasn't necessary. The remaster from PS4 probably holds up fine, but I would much rather a studio and a publisher revisit their game every 2 years or every time a new console releases, make sure it's the best it can be, make sure it's available specifically for that console, tailored to it, rather than the opposite, where we have all these games that get lost to history, like Metal Gear Solid 4 or something like that, that's still trapped on the PS3. Is it a money grab? Sure, but I would take this over the alternative because it will go on sale eventually. It will go cheaper, and you can always grab it down the line.
By the way, I bet this game goes on sale, hits the extra subscription tiers and all that stuff when the HBO series drops.
Oh,
Probably,
for sure.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm going to buy right off the bat. But it's I'll dig into it at some point just because I think it looks good. But I again, like, even with all its problems, even if I think that resources could be better distributed towards other projects or whatever, I don't think it needs as much hate as it's getting.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
But I feel that way about a lot of games. You don't like something, you don't purchase it, you don't play it. I don't like, and The Last of Us, as Derek said, has so much fucking controversy behind it and debates, and whether or not you should enjoy it or not. And ultimately, I know that The Last of Us 2 was super important to Justin. Like, why would you tell somebody to not enjoy something or that they shouldn't enjoy something? I don't know. That's just me. I'm not about gatekeeping what games people should or shouldn't play, or shitting on things people should or shouldn't.
I'm the guy that also has like a piece of limited edition, individually numbered, signed by the artist, Last of Us art in my house. Like,
if
there's no chance that I'm not buying this.
I actually have the collector's edition of The Last of Us, the first one on the PlayStation 3, because I was able to preview it at PAX, and it was one of those previews. I think it came out in like 2012, 2011. And it was one of those things where they bring you into a room and somebody plays the demo right in front of you. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, this looks incredible. I want this, it was just...
I just had the funniest image in my head of Jim Ryan looking at The Last of Us remastered on PS4, like, who would play this shit?
Who would play this shit? This is so
looks
old.
so bad. Like, wow, this looks fucking awesome.
Like, I know we're going over and stuff, but like, I think there's also part of the perception is The Last of Us doesn't feel as old even as a bunch of other games that released within a few months of when it released for whatever reason. Like,
GTA
Last of Us
feels
launched,
fucking ancient now.
Yeah, The Last of Us launched like 3 months after BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite feels like it's way older than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I will say that the multiplayer in the original Last of Us was super fucking fun, which is why I'm not shitting on the multiplayer Last of Us, because I think it's cool that they're dedicating an entire game to a multiplayer.
It's just weird to see so much money go to a remake of a relatively accessible
absolutely
mod. At least with Resident Evil 4, it kind of makes sense because they're going to make a very different game, probably.
Exactly, 100%. It's not just a reskin of a game, right?
But
because they even said during the interview when Ashley and Trevor were there, they were like, "You didn't redo any of the motion capture or anything," and Neil Druckmann was like, "No, we were able to use the same motion capture and just upgrade it," and that's cool. But also, like,
I mean, probably a lot of this was they also were getting tools and stuff ready for their next big PS5 project.
At the end of the day, I think just to kind of bounce off of what Brittany was saying and what Justin was saying, like, don't spend your days shitting on things that people love, because you never know the circumstances surrounding that thing that person loves. You never know why they love a thing, if for a lot of people, like I love my favorite game, almost always goes deeper than game cool, enjoyed it. Like there's almost always some kind of meaningful story behind why we love the things we do as much as we do, whether we're talking about books or television or games or film. There's
And like
always
even if something's slightly like, even if there's problematic elements in something, like a lot of people like stuff and know that there's problematic parts to it and like don't agree with and don't like those parts. And it does not always need to be assumed that you need to like correct somebody on those things.
Right.
Because the point isn't to disengage from all media like that. It's just to be aware and then do your shit in full knowledge.
That
Like,
kind
you
of like ties back to the Blizzard shit. Like
Yeah,
you can,
right.
you can absolutely like and support something, especially if it makes you feel good or if it's something that helps you get through this fucking thing we call life right now. Like that's fine as long as you acknowledge the issues going on currently.
Right.
Like,
Well,
we're-
like, you know, it's like Final Fantasy VI, right? Like the running joke is, oh, John's always talking about Final Fantasy VI on modern consoles. But God forbid I should want something that literally saved my life as playable as possible for as wide an audience as possible, especially given the state of games conservation right now. That game is massively important to me. It's one of the reasons I'm still here. And yeah, I love it. And yeah, I'm going to continue to ask for it on modern consoles until I get it. If that upsets anyone, then you simply don't have to come to my social media page.
Right.
You know, and that goes
And
for
it's okay
any
to
game.
like things. Like it's okay to like things.
especially now. I don't know why. And like, you know, I see a lot of people dumping on The Last of Us today, right? Like, and it's like, but people love this game. And right now, given the state of the world, like, why are we shitting on things that people genuinely love? Things that people
Let people enjoy things, because enjoying things is not the same as shutting yourself off from real problems.
Yeah.
Right.
I deal
like,
with I deal with fucking being a queer person in Kentucky, you know, every waking hour of my day. Like I don't need to be educated on the struggle of pride right now. I promise you. I can play Persona 4 and it's fucking homophobic bathhouse storyline. It's fine.
Right. And that's not to say that you can't complain about
Sure.
what's happening and being upset with Last of Us, because I get it. Should it be a full price game? I don't think so. They probably do, because they probably put a lot of work into it. I don't know. I don't work behind scenes. But I just know that there is somebody out there who loved The Last of Us so much that's so fucking excited for this game. And I'm not going to sit here and shit on it and say, you shouldn't enjoy that because this game came out 9 years ago. Like, it just seems so silly to me. And I'm seeing that a lot. Like, oh, they just upgraded Joel's facial hair. And I'm like, so what if they did?
Yeah. His facial hair looks great.
I really
It's okay to just not care about something. Like,
it looks like he
right.
applied some
It
nice
you
beard
just-
oils.
you don't need to have an opinion about everything, and you don't need to post about said opinion about everything.
But
And I'm
that Saints Row 3rd remaster, whatever that came out a few years ago, like it looked great. Don't care. I wasn't mad about it. People seem excited for it. Like, sure.
So we're 10 minutes over. We do need to wrap up here. I know Derek's like, oh God.
We didn't even get the Diablo Immortals. Diablo Immortals, bad monetization.
We'll talk about that later.
Play it if you want. Just don't like drop your life savings
Don't
in
drop
it,
any
please.
money for in-game shit. Now, next week we're expecting a big week of news. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about next week. So much so that I'm not sure we're going to fucking get into it in one podcast. So if we go over, maybe we'll have to go over. Maybe we'll do one Thursday, one Friday. Who knows? But we got Capcom next week. I'm sure we have a Nintendo Direct next week. And we got Xbox on Sunday. There's more coming. Like there's more shit happening. Like there's more happening that has been announced. And it's going to be a wild week. So a lot of cool news dropping next week. We're going to talk about all that stuff. I also want to thank everyone who donated to help us fund abortion funds for that Kentucky hospital.
Yes, Kentucky Health Justice Network.
Yep. The donation was sorry it took so long, as waiting for funds to clear and stuff like that. But the donation was made today, and we posted the receipts on our social or on our Twitter account at official SDGC.
The confirmation thing. People don't get to see receipts, but
right. Well, you know what I mean. But
yeah.
But thank you so much to everybody who donated. Right now, it means more than you could possibly know. It doesn't matter how much you donated. You did more than a lot of people are doing. Again, we got a big week next week. I am mentally preparing myself for it. We will try to stream what we can, depending on what time these things happen.
And schedules, yeah.
So I will try to do streams as they come, and anybody's willing to join me, as long as they are streams that don't happen at like noon. So we will see what we can do. But regardless, we're going to talk about all of this shit as it drops next week. So don't you worry about that. Thank you to everybody for tuning into us tonight. We had a nice, active, lively chat. I love to see it. I love having the entire podcast here in one night. It warms my heart. I love all of you, and both everybody here on this podcast and all of our community just make me feel so much better about everything. And it just makes me, after a rough week, it's exactly what I needed. Plus, I saved a cow today, so
you did save a cow. Like, I will say, the highlight of my day today was John calling me and being like, "Britt, I just saved a cow," and then afterwards, he almost shit on me, and I'm like, "John, that's life."
I've never saved a cow.
I was like, that applies to life. You do something good for something or someone, and
anybody who doesn't like me, right? Anybody who doesn't like me, I saved a motherfucking cow today. What have you done? Okay, what have you done? I ask what you have done. So don't forget, guys, we got a Patreon. Whenever we start going back to conventions, that's what that money is used for. So that link is in the chat.
In the meantime, it's just being used for equipment replacement and upgrades.
Yeah, pretty much. We've also got a merch store. Again, it's in the chat right there. Every single dollar you spend on one of our mugs, hoodies, or shirts goes toward various charities, including Black Girls Code, Take This, and the Trevor Project, and Able Gamers. So look good, make your coffee taste better, and you're giving all that money to a good cause. And of course, we have a Discord, which is getting close to 400 people. So please help us get to 500 by the end of the year.
Oh my God, that's scary.
What's that?
I said, oh my God, that's scary.
Yeah, we're getting close to 400 people, man. So it's hard to believe that many people can stand us. So we love you all. Take care of each other. And remember, kindness costs nothing. We'll see you next week.
And do whatever makes you happy. Do something that makes you happy today.
Play Final Fantasy
Unless
6.
it's arson. Don't do arson.
Play a Final Fantasy game. Play Final Fantasy 14 online. It's playable up till level 60.